So am I correct, Brian, that it is now 6 o'clock?
Yes, it is 6 o'clock straight up, and all but Councilor Kenyon are on board.
Okay. I don't see council. Oh, there you are, Chrissy. I see you popped up. Okay. All right, let's go ahead then. This is March 24th, 2021. At 6 o'clock p.m. We have a city council meeting for Oakridge. We will have both a special session and an executive session. This meeting is hereby called to order. Brian, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes, ma'am. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. It is, Jackie, are you here? And I just want to remind everybody, or counselors, just want to remind you that, you know, we prefer that you don't be on your cell phones. But I know we have pressing obligations sometimes, and that's important. And also not to be communicating back and forth to one another unless we're doing it verbally on our meeting. Jackie, will you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mayor Holston.
Here.
Councilor Whitney.
Here.
Councilor Coker.
Here.
Councilor Slidoff.
Here.
Councilor Hollett.
Here.
Councilor Kenyon.
Here.
Councilor Bjornson.
Here.
Thank you, everybody. Sounds like we have a full house. Excellent. Glad to see that you could all make it for this early executive session as well as special session. I did want to point out that it is normally our custom to have public comment both in the beginning and in the end of our meetings. And I noticed there was not public comment put on our agenda, but I would like to open it to public comment if there are any that would like to be recognized. And if that is the case, please unmute yourself and state your name, and then I can put you in the queue. So is there anybody online that would like to do public comments? Okay. Okay. Not hearing any public comment. I have two letters that were sent in specifically asking that they be read. So I'm going to read those two. And then as long as there isn't any others, we will move into our executive session, which we'll announce in a moment. The first one is from John Crane. Can I ask how my volume is coming through, Dawn? Am I doing okay?
Yeah, it's fine to me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And you're okay too, Audie? All right. So this one is from John Crane. Hello, my name is John Crane, and I am the owner of the Three-Legged Crane Pub and Brew House across the street. It was just brought to my attention you are considering replacing Brian Cutchin as administrator. I also understand you do not have a suitable replacement for that position. If so, this seems poorly timed, short-sighted, and puts our city and local business in jeopardy in a very uncertain time. I urge you to extend the contract until a suitable and qualified person be found to flawlessly fill that position if this is absolutely has to happen. I only know Brian on a professional level, but he has always been fair, prompt, organized, and concise in our dealings. Brian always struck me as a supporter and professional champion of the city of Oakridge. To my knowledge, Brian has always adhered to the city rules and regulations whenever we have questions or requested a change. He has been very supportive, helpful, and informative over the extremely challenging past year of C-19 restrictions and shutdowns. Brian has always struck me as a city watchdog, true to his word and action. I'm not sure why you wish to replace him. I and other citizens' businesses would very much like to know, but if it must happen this way, it is very ill-timed and appears to be lacking in planning and preparation that we deserve in order to be successful. I would really like to know why this seems to be such an urgent issue and justifying putting the welfare of our awesome community in limbo. leaving us lacking qualified leadership. The community deserves to know the reason why you wish to remove Brian from his position. I sincerely hope you reconsider this rash action and put the well-being of our wonderful little city first. Please keep Brian as city administrator, or at least until you have planned a smooth transition to the best of your abilities. Please reconsider this action. Thank you for your time and service to Oakridge, John Crane. And one more is from George Custer to the Oakridge City Council. My name is George Custer. I reside on McFarland Road in Oakridge. As a business owner and taxpayer in the city of Oakridge, I am very concerned that there are rumors that the contract for the current city administrator may not be renewed. Mr. Cutchin received glowing reviews on his last evaluation from the council. Now it appears he has somehow fallen out of favor with council. I understand that when the levy did not pass, he made it known that the fire department and emergency services might have to be cut, or another form of those departments looked at for the city to have a balanced budget. Having said that, is the city administrator now on the chopping block? Having two councilors serving in various capacities with those departments could appear to be a potential serious conflict of interest situation. The last situation this city needs is to have the Oregon State Ethics Committee down Oakridge's throat. This would be a serious embarrassment to the town. This potential political suicide would be devastating for Oakridge. Also, the loss of momentum Mr. Cutchin has created, not only for the safety, health, well-being, and enjoyment of the citizens, but also the progress regarding economic development that Oakridge has yearned to see for so long. He is being given an unjustified cold shoulder from the current council for no apparent reason. Our city administrator works for you, the city council. Give him your guidance, and he will work tirelessly to see your vision of the future of Oakridge fulfilled. Thank you. Those are the only two letters I had submitted that asked to be read. At this time, get back to my agenda here. At this time, we're going to move into executive session. Just checking to make sure I don't see any flashing hands going up. We're moving into executive session per ORS 192.660(2A) to consider the employment of a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent, and also ORS 192.660(2E) to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property and transactions. Brian, will you put us into breakout?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Administrator.
This is Counselor Coker. I second.
And
Can I
Counselor
please
Coker
add a
sec-
friendly amendment to that?
Go ahead, please. And make your question.
Yeah, so I think it would be important to include that it's, we are extending his current contract with an addendum of the amendment, which includes extending the contract for 1 year with an additional 1 year renewal.
I agree with that, Bobby.
Counselor Kenyon, it's up to you to accept the amendment. Are you,
I can
I guess-
restate it if you like.
just a minute, let Counselor Kenyon respond to the question.
Thank you. That seems quite wordy. I don't know that it's necessary because all that information is actually in the contract. I don't know that it's necessary for the motion.
I just thought it would be important so that people can know what we were doing. And it just kind of goes along with the wording of what the attorney, what an attorney would say, so.
Agreed.
Do you accept it or not, Counselor Kenyon?
I'll accept it if she can put it into
Okay.
the words. I mean, if you can get it down.
Okay,
Okay,
So,
so go ahead.
I said,
Counselor.
extend us, the contract with the addendum of amendment, which extends the contract for 1 year with an additional 1 year renewal.
Hold on. Okay, so the motion has been made to extend the contract with the city administrator with the addendum, extending the contract 1 year with an additional 1 year renewal.
Yeah,
Okay,
that sounds good to me.
okay. Discussion is open for council. Okay, the discussion of council, I would just say that, just to reiterate, that this is being extended. The current contract is going to be extended 1 year with a 1 year renewal. That this contract, now that it has been spoken in public, is now available to the public if they would like to see it. All we are waiting for is Brian's authorization of acceptance. Our attorney has been directed to present that to him. Any other discussion?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Jackie, will you call for a vote, please?
Yes, Kathy.
The Audi has a question.
Oh, sorry. I see hands now. Go ahead. Counselor Splitoff and then Counselor Coker, go ahead.
Is this is that going to be an option of 1 year, or is it automatic 1 year?
I'm sorry, what? It's not automatic.
Okay.
It is automatic if we decide to do nothing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. You got the floor.
So do I see any other hands up? Okay, all right. Jackie, will you please call for a vote?
Mayor Holston,
Aye.
Councillor Whitney,
Aye.
Councillor Coker,
Aye.
Councillor Splitoff,
Aye.
Councillor Bjornson,
Aye.
Councillor Kenyon,
Aye.
Councillor Hollett,
Aye.
That passes. Council, thank you. And per council's, I would like to read a letter at this time, which will be made available to the public also, March 24th, of course, to the community and citizens of Oakridge. The Oakridge City Council wishes to publicly support the city administrator, Brian Cutchin, and acknowledge the work that has been accomplished in the last 2 years. Renewal of the contract for a period of 1 year acknowledges that the council and the city administrator together need to work for a more satisfactory communication structure, and in no way represents a lack of good faith on the part of the council, but instead is to be viewed as an opportunity to strengthen our council administrator form of government to better serve our community. Council acknowledges that communication is essential to good governance, both internally and externally. We are committed to improving communications with each other, with our administrator, and with our entire community. Council looks forward to a productive year, nurturing the momentum that has begun and learning together how to lead Oakridge into a brighter future. Thank you, Council, for your work on this, and thank you, Brian. Let's move on to business from the City Council, which is a CA evaluation process. Just to introduce this, we have recognized that there are some processes that we need to continue. One is a CA evaluation, and we would like to discuss here at this time what we would like to do for the evaluation this year and at this time. And it has been suggested, actually, I will open that up to discussion. Councilor Kenyon. You're muted,
You're
Councilor
muted.
Kenyon.
Sorry again.
It's okay.
I feel like we should just start the evaluation process now for the annual review.
Okay.
We already
I-
have, maybe, I don't know if we've shared it or not, but we do already have a
Yes.
process documented that everyone should have a copy of that.
Right, we do. And I will I see your hand, Counselor Sweetoff. I did share all those documents by giving you access to the Google Drive so that you could go
Okay.
in and take a look at them. If counselors, if you having difficulty doing that, I wasn't sure when I shared it, whether or not everybody knew how to get in there. I'm happy to help to walk you through it. I know that Counselor Kenyon probably, I think Counselor Kenyon would be, you be willing also to help people walk them through how to get to it?
Yeah.
Okay. So those documents are in there. And in beginning that process, I think one of the things that we wanted to talk about was whether we wanted to do the full process, which included evaluations from employees, or we wanted to do a limited process. I also wanted to bring up the fact that I think in our process, we did not include what is known as the follow-up. We didn't do the after the evaluation, what happens. And I think that's really important. And I think it could have really assisted us in this process that we're doing right now. I think what I'd like to do is just send that information out to you, Council. With your permission, I'm going to read it quickly so that you'll know the direction I'm going. And if you don't think you want it, I won't send it to you guys, okay? Does that sound okay with everyone? Because I think it's
I'm not
really
sure.
important. Go ahead, Counselor Kenyon. I can hear you, see you.
I'm not sure I follow what you're suggesting right
Well,
now.
Okay, well, I think what I'd like to do is if we consider this is consider a portion that we didn't do with our evaluation, which is our follow-up. I don't think we didn't define that really. And so I have some verbiage to define that. I can just send it to all of you and you can look at it. That might be better rather than having me read it all. Okay, okay. Counselor Splitoff, I see a blue hand. I see Counselor Hollett, you have a hand up too. So go ahead, please.
Okay, I wanted to say yes, thank you for making that we have to follow up. That's a council's responsibility, and we need to see this done. And it's no fault on our city administrator that council doesn't do what they're supposed to do. So I'd like to see that follow up. And yeah, as soon as we can get this evaluation going, the better.
Okay.
And more time for Brian to come up and give his response.
Okay. Thank you. Counselor Whitney and Counselor Hollett, I don't know which one of you were first, but I see both of your hands.
I think it was Chrissy.
Go ahead, Counselor Hollett.
I think sending out the evaluation to counselors so that they get an idea of what it looks like and what kinds of things we're looking for is a good idea. And whatever that thing was that you just mentioned, Mayor Holston, would be good too.
Okay.
I would prefer to hold off on doing the evaluation. We're coming into budget season, and budget season is really huge for counselors. It's a huge thing, even if you know the budget really well. And we have brand new counselors that are really going to have to dive into it. And that's also a big part of the evaluation on our city administrators, how we interact and communication on that. So I would personally like to see it happen quickly, yes, but I would like to see it happen, maybe May is what I was thinking.
May, okay.
That's all I had.
Thank you, Counselor Hollett. Counselor Whitney?
Yeah, I'm really glad that Chrissy said that, because I too would like to see a full evaluation. And I'd also like to see it include all the staff and the interns, such as Grace. I think it would be great to hear from her how that's worked and how she feels. Because I know we'll have more coming up, and it'd be just really good to get that feedback. And I agree with waiting until May because of the budget season. It's going to take a lot of our time and a lot of our concentration, and it's going to be heated at times. And I would really hate to see feelings about the budget flow over in a negative way when it really isn't. Because I could just see it kind of coloring things a little differently, and I don't want that to happen. I want it to be a fair evaluation.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm making sense, but I worry about how, because we know this budget is going to be a tough one, and we know that we all have really strong feelings about it, and it's not going to be easy for any of us, and none of us are probably going to agree on all levels, or maybe some of us will, I don't know, but I just don't want that to color the feelings that we take from being upset through the budget season, because I know I'm sure I'm gonna come away upset at times. I just hate to see that color the evaluation in a negative way when it really shouldn't be. So
Thank you, Counselor Whitney. I appreciate your thoughts, as well as Counselor Hollett too. Counselor Hollett, your hand's still up.
My bad.
Okay, no problem. All right. So council, so we've heard two counselors express that they would like to wait until May to get this started due to the budget. Can I hear any discussion from the rest of the council about how they feel about that? Counselor Kenyon, I see your hand.
I would be okay with waiting until May if that's what the majority feels.
Okay. Counselor Coker?
I'm okay with waiting as well. I think we need to get through the budget season first.
Okay. Counselor Bjornson?
Yeah, I think getting well through the budget season is important also, and I'm good with waiting until May.
Okay, Counselor Splitoff? You're muted, Counselor Splitoff. You're muted, yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same, waiting
Okay.
till May, but we shouldn't put it off any longer than that. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay, Council, thank you for that. So I think taking from what we've talked about, I will go ahead and send out the evaluation forms to you. Even though you have access to the drive, we will work together to make sure you can all get into the drive. And I will also send that extra information out. Counselor Kenyon, you and I and former Counselor McClellan worked on this process. So perhaps you and I can look at that piece that I'm suggesting, and we can see how it fits and doesn't fit, and bring it back to council together if you're willing to do that.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds great. All right. I think we are cool and done here. We are going to move down to public comment. If there is any member of the public that would like to make comment at this time, I would ask that you unmute yourself and go ahead and state your name, and then I can put you in the queue. Is there anyone who would like to make comments at this time? And I'm watching. I don't see anybody unmuting themselves. And okay. Okay, if there is no public comment, then it is now 7:09, and I am now adjourning this special session of the Oakridge City Council on March 24th. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.